All right, hello everyone. Today is Thursday, March 21st. Today we are actually going to run through a rerun of last week's training where we're going to show how to sell leads from one website to multiple different clients. Now, unfortunately, last week had a technical glitch. The recording didn't record properly, so we're just going to run through it again. Like always, if you guys have any questions related to this, related to anything at all in the software, feel free to drop it into the question section and I will get to you. But let's start with my example here. So you're going to have to imagine with me a little bit. I've got my site that I've attached to this campaign. And in this case, the site is blog.localviking.com, our blog for another software. But what I've done on that site is I've gone ahead and I've made some extra pages. So let's all imagine that this blog.localviking.com was actually a lead gen site. Maybe we're selling leads to contractors, to dentists, to lawyers, doesn't matter. Whatever type of lead gen site we have, we're going to have unique pages per geo. Most likely you guys are having targeted pages to the larger geos. There are a number of other styles where maybe you have an auto splog built site that's targeting every single zip code. Whatever it is, you're going to have city pages, and you're going to sometimes want to sell leads to different clients. So in this case, I've got this page here for New York. We have Los Angeles, and let me open up San Francisco. And let's go ahead and let's just take a quick look at these three imaginary pages. We've got our three service pages. So we see here we have our Los Angeles page. We have a number that has been embedded there. If I reload, we can see really quickly the Jensen JavaScript snippet just reloaded and dropped in that number there. If we jump over to the city service page for New York, we can see the number here. And if we reload, we can see really quickly the same thing. It's getting injected in. And then the third example here is going to be our San Francisco page. Now, obviously, when you guys are putting this into your sites, your lead gen pages are going to be built out much better than this. They're going to have content about the city, about the service. You're going to be ranking. This is purely a demo. So the important part to notice is that we are switching in a unique phone number for each page. And that is going to be part one to how we can sell leads by page. So we have one lead source here. It's going to be this phone number. And then our second lead source is going to be this form. So we can see on all the pages we have the exact same form, but we have a little bit of CSS that has been set. So if we go ahead and inspect element, we can see that each of these forms actually has a unique ID. And we'll go ahead and I will show submitting this form to get it through. So we have one lead source of a phone number, one lead source is a form, and we have a unique form and phone number per page. That's going to be the key component of properly being able to sell leads to different clients off of one site. So essentially what I've done is I've gone ahead, I've attached the site, like I said, and I've created three demo clients. So I have one client that's called Los Angeles lead buyer, I have one client that's called San Francisco lead buyer, and I have a New York lead buyer. So I've already added these to my campaign, but what I did to get the phone numbers assigned to individual pages is I went ahead and I clicked into the actual property through the campaign. And I came through and I went to the settings page here. And the first phone configuration option that we hit is going to be the default phone number for the site. So I went through and I actually named this phone number here default site phone number so it's easy to see. And we could have assigned a different phone number. We could have attached call file or call rail. That is all good and well. Now the actual page that I'm looking for, and if you're going to be selling leads off of multiple pages to multiple different clients, the page you're going to be looking for is this phone numbers assignment page. And if we click in here, we can see that I've created a simple line for each page that I want to have a unique phone number. So part one of selling leads is going to be segmenting each page that you want to assign to a unique client. In this case, I've got one city page per phone number. Let's say that I had maybe a different style site where I had one site for California, and maybe I had a number of pages that were ranking around the San Francisco Bay Area. Maybe I had a number of pages that were ranking around LA, perhaps Santa Monica, Los Angeles, Hollywood, different areas within LA, each had a different page. And maybe I had San Diego with 5 or 6 pages ranking around the geo of San Diego. You could always come in here and you could say for whatever many pages you want to add. So maybe it's service page Los Angeles, service page Hollywood, service page Santa Monica. You would assign those all to the same phone number, or they could all have the unique phone number. But in this example, let's say I had one contractor in LA, I had 3 pages ranking. I would just come through here and I'd click the add page button and I would add the URL, and it's got to be the exact URL. In this case, I had to keep the trailing slash, but we'll go ahead and we'll add the URL of whatever page it is we want to bind a specific phone number to. So I've gone ahead and I've done that for these 3 pages, and that's why when we see the page reloading, we can see that this page here gets the Los Angeles number, this 8761 number, and we see here 8761 Los Angeles, and so on and so forth. If we take a quick look at what's the difference between a default site number and a page-specific number, I have this default site number here, and I believe that's also a 702 number, but essentially the way to see that is I have this other page here, and I've titled it Any Other Page, and it's got the classic Jensen JavaScript CSS class for us to listen to phone numbers. And if we go ahead and look at the page, we are going to see the site's global phone number. So because this page doesn't have any unique phone number assigned to it, it's going to get the global phone number of the site. If you have that number assigned to a client, you can then bill for any leads that are coming through any pages that do not have a specific phone number assigned. So part 1, I've gone ahead and I have added the phone number assignment here. And once you've done that, the second thing that I did is I actually went through to the campaign, and you go right through to your campaign. And this page is the multi-page demo, and you would click the add phone numbers button, and then you would come in through here and you would choose your client, you would choose the billing plan, and you would choose the phone number one at a time. So for the New York page, let's say for the Los Angeles page here, I went ahead and I chose that phone number that was in this dropdown. I chose the Los Angeles lead buyer who I was planning on selling leads from my Los Angeles page to. And then I chose the billing plan, and I could have a single billing plan across all of these. I could have some contractors under one billing plan. Maybe they're all buying calls at $10 a pop and form submits at $10 a pop. I could have everybody on its own billing plan. It's completely flexible how we do that. But that is kind of the method for getting unique phone numbers on unique pages, selling leads to unique clients. Now, the second part of that, again, we have 2 lead sources. One is this phone number, and you're also going to have forms. So let's see what I did really quickly for the forms. We can look at our form here, and it looks like we actually need to clean it up a little bit. So we have our form here, pure HTML, and in Los Angeles, we have went ahead and we've given it this ID of FRM Los Angeles, and let's go ahead and let's update that. And let me just quickly go through both New York and San Francisco. And I'm assuming when I cut and paste these, they all got a little funky. So I'm gonna fix this form here, and you notice that we're on the New York page. We have an ID. Anytime you're using the Jensen JavaScript snippet and you want to sell leads coming through a form submit, you need to make sure that that form has its own ID. So I'm going to update that there. Then let's go to San Francisco. This is going to be the last one here. And we're actually going to see this happen live since I have not made the connection between the clients and their forms. Okay, so we've got this Los Angeles page. And now we know that I have the phone number assigned to our Los Angeles client. Let's go ahead and figure out how we can get the entire page assigned over. So that's just going to get this form. So if I click submit, we're going to get this 404 because that action that I had defined was not a real action. What I just wanted to do was get that lead to go through, and you're going to test your form one time. We are going to go back to our site, and we're going to go to our site forms tab. And now we can see that since I did that test form submit, even though it went to a 404, we actually got it registered here in our site forms tab. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to edit that form. We can see that the ID is passing through properly. And in this case, just because this is an example form, I'm going to uncheck that, and we're going to go redirect this to blog.localviking.com. Just send it to the home page. You might send it to a thank you page. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is select a billing plan, and we're going to assign this to the Los Angeles lead buyer. So we could make a lead dialer here, which is going to make the form auto call whoever's configured in the lead dialer. I'm going to leave that blank and just click save. And now we can go back to our campaign. And if we look at our client tab here, we have actually assigned that form to this lead buyer here. So now this lead buyer has been assigned both a phone number as well as the form. So we have both of them linked to this client. Now let's go ahead and let's do the same thing for the San Francisco page as well as the New York page. So let's cruise on through our pages here. So we've got the New York page here. I'm going to go ahead and click update one more time, and let's go ahead and do the exact same thing. All we want to do is we want to send this first submit through. It's going to 404, that's fine. We're just going to go in and we're going to catch it essentially. So we'll go to the site forms tab. Now we can see that that form submit has come through, and we can see that the Los Angeles lead buyer has been assigned to that Los Angeles specific form. Let's go ahead and edit this one up, and let's say we're going to not submit the original form. We're going to hijack the form submits, and we're going to do something nice with it so it doesn't 404. We could give this its own billing plan. I'm just going to give it the same test billing plan, and then we're going to assign the New York lead buyer. Unfortunately, I renamed two of them. I believe the right one is going to be that one without the number, and we can click save. And let's go ahead to complete the circle. Let's do the San Francisco thing. So I've got the San Francisco landing page, and this is an example of the first time I have the JavaScript snippet. I'm getting it set up. I've installed it into the page. So if we go ahead and quickly view source, we can see that looking for Jensen, here's the JavaScript snippet embedded here. That is going to have the magic to pick up this form submit here. And let's make sure, oh, I did not properly fix this form. Let's do that really quick. All right, so now that we know that form is going to submit to my endpoints, we got the 404, but again, that's okay. Let's go ahead and let's reload the site forms tab, and one more time, now we're tracking that form submit coming through our site, and we have our third unique page. And now if we just go ahead and we redirect the URL to the home page here, assign a billing plan, and we want to assign that San Francisco lead buyer. We click save, and now we have, let's go ahead, I'm going to actually just give a quick example. So that form submit that we just did failed. Now that we've actually connected Jensen, theoretically when we submit it again, it's not going to fail. It's going to redirect to the home page of this site. And there we go, it worked. So we went ahead and we intercepted that form submit. We've transparently processed it as a lead, and we've redirected the form submitter to the URL that we chose. And then let's just go ahead for good measure. Take a look over here and we can see that we just submitted a very nice Mickey Mouse lead right through to our San Francisco lead buyer there. So from a high level, just so I can step back a little bit, we were able to divvy up one site, blog.localviking.com, selling leads to multiple clients. Right now we just did 3. Each of those clients have 1 page. We could have easily done each of those clients having multiple pages, each of those clients having a different number of pages, each of those clients having a variable number of lead sources. We turned each lead source on the page level into a binding directly to the client. So what that means is if you have one site and it's selling leads to one client, all of the lead sources across the site are going to default to that client. When you want to get more granular like this, where you're selling leads to multiple clients from one site, you're going to want to segment things on a per page level and just go ahead and set the rules for the phone number to be assigned on a per page level and assign your form ID on a per page level, and then catch all of those. On the Jensen side, when it's the phone number, you can assign it to the client through the add phone numbers button here on your campaign. And when it's your form that you're assigning to a client, that is going to be a little bit confusingly in your actual lead source or your site and in the site forms tab. And once you've done that, you can imagine how we could have had any number of pages here. Maybe if we had 10 pages with 10 different clients, we would just be repeating the process, going to each page, configuring the forms, configuring the site to have the per page phone number assignments, and then assigning the phone number to a unique client. Let me know if you guys have any questions on that. It's a little bit complex, but I feel like this week's explanation was a little bit smoother than last week's. Mike is asking, what if I need to replace the phone number in multiple places on the same page? In order to do that, Mike, you can replace, let's do a quick example of that. So let's say we have our phone number here, and then let's say you also have your phone number down at the bottom here in an H1, and we say something like, hey, please call us at, and let's just give a number here, maybe not my own number, 555-5555, and we've got an H1. So let's go ahead in our imaginary world. I'm going to go ahead and update that, and I believe it's going to be this page here. So we can say I just entered, hey, please call us at this number here. We see that this number is still properly getting redirected, and the reason for that is because you can have any number on the page redirected as long as you have it in a special class. So in this case, I'm going to just wrap it in this span tag, which I believe the span tag is about to work. We're going to see. It's possible that we might need to break this into a paragraph tag or an H1 tag, but let's go ahead and let's wrap that in its own span. And let's open up the page again. And now we can see that we are replacing the number multiple places on one place. And that's just simply with using this span class here. So anytime you have a number on the page that you want to be replaced by Jensen, you just wrap it in an HTML div. In this case, we chose a span because it's not going to break the block flow. If we would have put it in a paragraph tag, it would be on a different line. You can transparently wrap things in HTML in a span tag most of the time. It's going to be compliant HTML, and you just stick in the Jensen phone class, and it is all working. No problem, Mike. All right, everybody, that is it for today's training. If there are any last minute questions, go ahead and drop them in here. Otherwise, I hope that this helped you. If you're watching this after the fact, hopefully this explains how to use the system to sell leads to as many clients as possible from the same property We will catch you next week, and I want to thank everyone that showed up today and hope you have a great end of your week. See you next time, guys.